Well, howdy, all of you guys up there. You cases in New York. It's a beautiful day here this afternoon in Prairie Village, Kansas. December the 6th. It's plenty cold, but the sun has been shining all day. After 5 above zero last night. And yesterday was really a slick one. It had rained and frozen, and then about an inch of snow on top of that. Of course, it just blew off, but it sure was slick yesterday. Today it just sort of dried off. And not supposed to be so cold tonight. However, it's supposed to cloud up here. 30% chance of a small snow tonight. And cloudy tomorrow. And I suppose cold for the rest of the week. And there's some extended forecast of snow on Friday again, not too much, I guess. So that happens to be the weather situation here at this time. Well, we're getting a little bit organized here. I found a tape here that I can use. I don't know where all these things are. They're scattered around. We haven't located all this stuff that we're supposed to know where to put it. Sometimes we even forget where we put it after we find it. But I've been out tramping around a little today and came back, and yeah, that woman put me to work. I didn't know there was a attic upstairs there. There is, over the garage, and I've got a good floor up there. Place for a whole lot of storage. Supposed to be a furnace up in the other part of the attic to the south there, but I didn't locate it. Boy, it's got to be there someplace. But there's no light in the south half of the attic. But a good light up here in that storage room above the garage. So one of these days, if I can find a flashlight around here, I'll see if I can find out where our furnace is. See what about the filters and what shape they're in, and so on and so forth, and oiling and whatever else they have to do to it. Well, anyhow, this area above the garage is a very spacious area, and a room for all these knickknacks and cartons and boxes and spare tires and foot lockers and all of that kind of business that you can get out of the way from being in the way other places. So I got a lot of stuff out of the garage and got the garage really cleaned up now. I wish we had sold that refrigerator, and I wish we could still sell it. It's just sitting out there in the way. Maybe I can get it sold for 25 or 30 or 40 bucks one of these days. Now, we got you a Christmas letter sent, maybe yesterday or today, I don't know which. So that concludes our Christmas letters. You, yours, and Bill's. 150 of them. It came out just about right. Didn't cost as much as the usual printing job did that we used to do at Keller's. In fact, this was more or less of a copy job because Opal typed the stuff on one of the pages that we used, and they duplicated it in some manner. Looks pretty good. Haven't got the bill yet, but it won't be as much as a print job, he told me, and far less. Now then, this morning I go about and screws the business up again because I got a box at the branch post office, which is located here in Prairie Village. After telling 150 people what her address was, now I go change it and put a box number in. What do you think of that? And that won't hurt anything and won't create any trouble at all, because they're instructed up there to put every piece of mail we receive now in the box, and I can pick it up several times a day that way. And as I'm lying here on my bed in the bedroom, I don't know what that box number is. There's three of them. There's four numbers to it. But anyway, we'll put it on the return address on this tape envelope, and you'll know all about it. Neither would I be able to quote the telephone number if I was asked to do it right this minute from where I am now. And that brings up the issue of two more things we have to get done. We got to equip the southwest bedroom in there that's designated for my sulking room, with a bed and dresser and box or chair or something. Then we got to get this office equipped with some furniture, desk and filing cabinet, tables and stuff. And all of this I'm going to try to figure out getting used material for the bedroom and the office, because this washer and dryer is going to be installed tomorrow, and that whole business cost us $501. And it's got to last, I guess, the rest of our time. And then also it's got to be considered our Christmas and birthdays and Easter and Groundhog and Mother's Day and everything else for a while. I didn't expect it to cost that much, but it's good, and it's a couple of very nice units. So that will be brought out tomorrow according to the schedule. I think all in all, considering everything, we'll be fairly happy with this location here for a year. There's a lot of little things about the place that is more or less defective in a way, but it's a rent house and it's clean and well arranged, so I guess we'll get along all right. Fenced yard, screened porch out there leading out from the kitchen and utility room. Not going to do anybody a whole lot of good because it's screened, and if it blows rain or weather in there, it's wet in there. Maybe a fellow could line the business up with plastic and keep the weather out of there, but there's not a whole lot of stuff we want to store out there anyway. Maybe in the summer we can make a picnic area out of it. And all the garden I'm going to have is this space that the man had here, covering just the area that he had his greenhouse on, because he had spaded that area up and put sand in and around there and all that business. So we're going to have a small garden, and that's small enough, maybe 8 by 14. Have some lettuce, and onions, radishes, and maybe 4 or 5 or 6 tomato plants staked up this time. Because I'm not going to be buying straw for mulch, I can tell you. I'll have to get a mowing machine. I'm going to get a small one, and I'll save the grass clippings for the garden mulch, but outside of that it's going to be a simple process. And out in front he had a pretty good sized area in bulbs and several areas that had been used for flowers, so the woman of the house can decide on that score and decide what she wants to plant in those 2 or 3 little areas. I'm not having much to do with it because I plan to be busy, and I mean busy. Couldn't find the Connells today at all. I couldn't find them this morning or this afternoon either. So they may be attending the big Amway rally at Omaha, which is tonight. However, I really doubt it because they don't have any part of their group working in the Omaha area. And they attend enough meetings without going to stray meetings. So they're probably out on a meeting of their own. And I would like to have gone to that one at Omaha tonight and stayed at Olive's tonight, but no, too much other things involved here, and the weather pattern is not conducive to that either. And Saturday, there is a big wing-ding on the Ag campus that I've been invited to attend. After all these years, they've set up a Ag College alumni. You know, I've told you about the School of Ag alumni, which has been going for many, many years. And they have their annual alumni meeting in July every year. But this is the College of Ag alumni, the very first year that they have attempted to have it and made available for anyone to become members. Well, I'm a member of the thing, but I don't think I'll be going to Lincoln for that affair. However, Paul Howe is just wanting me to come up very badly. And if the weather is just perfect, I might do it, but I still doubt that either. It's on a Saturday, and it's pretty much of a all-day affair, the banquet Saturday noon, the student activities building on Ag campus. It throws in a kink anyhow, because Opal would have to be here alone on a Sunday, but I wouldn't get back until Sunday. And been away from home quite a bit on weekends here lately anyway. So chances are that won't take place. There is a Full Gospel Businessmen's Christmas banquet at the Mulebach Friday evening. I haven't bought tickets for that either yet, but I'll call and see if they're all sold out. Anyway, the extended broadcast said there's possibility of snow Friday, so I sure don't intend to get out on any freeway or any other street getting 10 miles down to Kansas City to go to a meeting, or I don't like that kind of driving. We had intended to attend the Anita Bryant meeting at the auditorium Sunday afternoon at 2:30. I wasn't too much sold on the idea because this time of the year, starting a program at 2:30 in the afternoon, and if it lasts a couple of hours, it's dark when you get out anyway. Then on top of that, it started to rain and drizzle and freeze about noon, and that killed that whole idea anyway. We had decided to go to that instead of going to church. Okay, after a freezing rain started, we kind of wished we had gone to church in the morning, but we didn't. We had originally planned on going out here to this Southwest Bible Church, hearing Dr. Darby preach, and we might still do that on the first chance we get. Well, there isn't a lot of stuff I can talk about here. Just got this letter sent off to you, and then inside of the letter was a token of a check that you can cash and let the kids use the money for their shopping pleasure. Not much, but then I think they'd rather use their own judgment on doing their own shopping than having somebody this far away try to buy presents for them. And we've done the same for the kids in Puerto Rico. And as I told Bill, as far as the rest of the old fogies, the rest of us old people, the adults, let's skip it. Make a Christmas some other way. If you can't get here, why call us. Since Bill doesn't have a telephone, why, I told him to call collect, and that would be our Christmas. That'd be a good Christmas present. And since I've told him that, why not tell you guys to do the same thing? Call us collect and talk with us. Now, you weren't talking too favorable the other night about coming on this trip this Christmas, but anyway, suit yourself on it, and it might be that actually you would rather wait until school is out and for the whole family to make a trip back here and spend a week, see our place, get reacquainted with your old Kansas City, Kansas area again before you start your summer program. It might be you would rather do it that way. I don't know what Bill is finally going to plan. He had talked about coming back with Malin, but that was when he hadn't learned yet that we would not be in Moberly. And after he learned that we would be here, he didn't sound too all fired in favor of it. And certainly, if in his case, if he would have to borrow a whole lot of money just to make a trip home, it might not be feasible anyway. Even though his work is progressing pretty well and getting a pretty good start, it's requiring all of his income from it to plow back into the business, and that's logical, and that's the way it should be. He's building his business just as he goes along, and I think that's very good sense. And I sure hope to start this business from scratch and keep it paid for as I go along, and I'm thankful that we will have that ability to do it. But we do know one thing: we're going to have to get the thing on a real paying basis here. in the next 6 months, which we hope to do. And there's not too much question about that, because the opportunity is here and the contacts are here. So we're just hoping to really concentrate all of our efforts on this Amway Neutralite and get something really accomplished. Set a reasonable goal and get it done. And of course, I can't see any sin in wishing and planning on being a direct distributor. I really believe if a fellow is going to go into this work and is spending full time at it without having to do something else to interfere, then why not go at it with that idea of becoming a direct distributor as soon as possible? Otherwise, there just wouldn't be too much fun or any idea of piddling with it to make it worthwhile, and as many thousands and thousands of others have done and are doing. You know that right now there are over 500 directs a month being brought into being, and that was several months ago. So these direct distributors are really being hatched out all over, not only over America, but over altogether 8 nations in the world. Boy, oh boy, here 1 month ago in Puerto Rico, I can't understand how such a great number of people are making it go in a small island of Puerto Rico. The last ammogram, for instance, 64 directs were pictured. Of course, that was not near what all of the directs that made direct for that month, but they pictured 64 direct distributors who had been to Ada, Michigan to receive their honors, and 14 out of those 64 were from Puerto Rico. And that's not all of the directs in Puerto Rico, because they have many, many directs in Puerto Rico who have been pictured and reported on before this little group of 14 out of 64. Somebody in Puerto Rico has really got this thing moving. So it would seem to me like everybody in Puerto Rico has had a chance to hear about Amway. I'm telling you, they've got some high producing people down there in Puerto Rico. Well, I'm going to unhitch right now and kind of leave room here for Opal to finish this thing out. On account of I've just been laying here just talking at random anyway. Well, the little Pinto is doing all right, as far as I know. Not too many miles, I guess, maybe less than 2,000 so far that I've put on. And it had a couple of thousand miles on, you know, when I bought it. It was a new car, however. A new 77 instead of a new 78. And so it's been doing 22 to 26 miles and doesn't ride as comfortable as a Cadillac, but it's a neat little wagon, and we're getting along with the thing in a nice way. And I'm sure glad I didn't get stuck on a red one, because that was the plan to start with. They had a red one lined up for me, and somebody snatched that one. So then they had to find this one, and it's dark brown. And I like it so much better. The trimming inside is tan. Okay, I'm gonna quit now and let Opal finish this record, as Gus says. And by the way, old Gus, he's just a torment to everybody over there. He's just a spoiled brat. That's what he is. He won't behave himself. He breaks all the rules and creates a lot of trouble for everybody. For instance, today he sent me a tape and a letter that he wants me to send to ex-President Nixon, because the management over there won't tell him how to get Nixon's address. So he thinks I should know, and I do know, but I'll be daggone if I will send this silly, goofy thing off Richard Nixon. Not on your life. I'm sure that President Nixon isn't sitting around waiting for somebody like Gus Bowman to entertain him with a bunch of stuff. So forget it. Let Opal finish. Bye-bye now. I hope that we'll be able to say Merry Christmas to you again before Christmas, because it's still a long time away to Christmas. See you now.
Some of your new...
Yep, I guess it's my time to say a little bit. Kind of fagged out tonight. We took quite a little jaunt this afternoon, leaving here just around 12:30, I think. And went to the bank to establish our bank account up here, and we did some grocery shopping, and we did some other shopping, and we're gone quite a little while. You know, it takes a lot of doing to get fixed up in another place. Seems like just can't get things straightened up like we'd like to have them. Still have one set of curtains to buy, and I don't know whether it's going to be for the living room or for the bedroom. It depends on what I can find. I put the ones that I had in the front bedroom at Moberly up in, well, I first put them up in the bedroom, and then I didn't like the bare window in the living room, so I thought, and we don't have any blind in there. We do have blinds in the front bedroom. So I thought, well, I'm going to take them down and put them up in the living room until we get some more. We don't use that front bedroom now anyway until we get some furniture for it. We did bring the mattress on the back bedroom down there, but the folks wanted the rest of it, and so we let it go. It wasn't very good anyhow. Part of it was about ready to fall down, so we just let them have it. So we're going out and buy a bed anyway, and I don't know what we'll get to go with it, but we don't think we'll, as your dad says, we'll be buying new furniture at all, if we can find anything at all that's used. Well, we went up to the Prairie Village Center today, and that's where the bank is that we want to deal with, and they seem very fine in there. And you know, right there in that little shopping area, the center of the Prairie Village, is a tune shop, and you know, Sharon Hayden is connected to that tune shop. I told your dad the other day, someday I was going to go in there, and I don't know what Sharon's last name is now, but anyhow, she comes in there certain days a week and I think teaches some music in there. And she's connected with the schools in, I guess, Kansas City, Missouri. But her dad told your dad that she was in that tune shop part of the time. So I'm going to go in and find out what her name is now and what days she's in there. And so I'll just go casually go in sometime and when I think she's there and say hello to her and see what kind of response I get. Well, we think we're going to like this pretty well up here. We seemingly don't really have any neighbors going out of the way to get acquainted with us. One of this young fellow across the road, he was just very nice and very friendly and came over right away when soon as he saw us move in over here. But the folks next to us on the north, uh, nobody knows them. Well, you can flip-flop the tape. Well, here I go on the other side now. Well, today was the day they were supposed to bring the washer and dryer out, which they did, rather early this morning. When they went to take the washer out of the carton, they found that it had been damaged in the carton, so they had to take it back. So they took the dryer back too, so they'd just make it all in one trip then when they came back out. They're supposed to come back then on Friday and bring another one, and I hope it gets by okay that time. And it was more than we wanted to put in on it, but we didn't want to get a mismatched set or something like that. We didn't want to get one that didn't do permapress stuff, and so they had some cheaper ones that were just one cycle or something like that, and we didn't want that. So we thought, well, we just get a good one while we're at it, and as he says, probably last us the rest of our lives as long as we want to do any washing. But there's still a lot of things to do, and I've been trying ever since we got here. Now that's been 3 weeks ago to get some of the pictures hung, but I don't trust myself to pound around and find the studdings, and I can't tie Dad down long enough to get him to do it. So the pictures are still sitting around the wall, just waiting for somebody to put them up. Now, I don't want to put them all up yet until we get our furniture definitely located, which we think we are in the living room. We have a good-sized living room, and then a little eating place at one corner of it, which will give us plenty of room to stretch that table clear to the nth degree and use it if we ever have any company which we need it. As it is now, we have it down to the smallest size. And I still have my sewing machine back at the room that your Dad's going to use for an office. That's the only bedroom that has a tile floor. The others are all carpeted. And so until he gets his office furniture and needs the space, why, it'll stay back there somewhere. If we ever get the business going till we have to use all of it for office, well, then I'll have to do something else with the sewing machine. But I've been making over curtains and one thing and another, and cut a loose yesterday and made a curtain for the kitchen out of some material that I had bought for a tablecloth. It was a gingham, red and white checked gingham, and I thought, well, that'd make a pretty curtain for the kitchen and brighten things up back there. So many of our walls are white, and the furniture, the woodwork is white, and the cabinets are white, and so I thought, well, I wanted something brighter in there, and I thought that red check would brighten it up. It was a little bigger check than I would have bought for a curtain, but then even so, it looks pretty good, and I experimented with it and made one of those curtains, with the long pointed tails on the side and a narrow strip through the middle at the top. I never had any instructions on it, but I got it done. When I got through with the material I had had bought for the tablecloth, I had about 3 or 4 pieces, they were triangular pieces that were about 10 or 12 inches on a side, and 2 or 3 smaller ones, and that's all I had left out of that material, so it came out pretty good. And then I took the 2 curtains that we had in the doorways down Morley, and I made curtains for the office here. I made curtains for the back door, in the utility room, and also for the one window in the garage that I thought we wanted a curtain over. And I just about came out I think with one piece about maybe 2 feet or 2.5 feet square left over, and that's all I had left out of those. So I came out pretty good, I think, on all the deal. I haven't bought anything yet for curtains, but I just want to buy this one pair, and if one set, if I can get them for the living room, that I think will look good in here. But then I'll move these back into the other bedroom, which I like back there. Well, let's see. I can't think now what else I wanted to talk about. Yeah, your dad was talking about putting this stuff up in the attic. You know, we have one of those fold down or unfold and stairways. They reach up and pull a string, and the thing comes down, and you unfold it, and then you've got a stairway up there. And we finally did put all of our foot lockers up there, excepting, I think there's 2 or 3 of the best ones still down here, and they may go up there yet. There's plenty of room up there, and those are handy deals. Stairways are completely out of your way any other time, and they're no trouble to pull down. Well, I don't think I have a great deal more to add to this. I was thinking about the size of this living room. Now, it is as long as our as one bedroom and the kitchen. So it is a good long room, and it's pretty wide too. We do have a little bit of an entryway as you come in from outside, when there's a closet in there for wraps, and that's nice to have. Our closets are not nearly as large as the ones we had in Moberly, but we have more of them. Well, I really don't have a whole lot to add that I can think of right now. And maybe before we get this off, we'll think of something more that needs to go on here. But as your dad said, Gus is causing the whole family a lot of grief right now, and he just, I don't know what's happened to him, but he just is doing everything as contrary as he can ever be, ever been in his life. He's just doing it, going out of his way to get everything fouled up, it seems like. And I know it's hard for him over there to make that adjustment. And by the way, Gene has sold the place there where Gus and Bertie lives in St. Joe. They first thought they might hang on to it and rent it, but then they decided it would just be too much grief to try to get people in there that would take care of it to suit them, and so they just decided to sell it. And so Gus is just about to wear Martha out over there, and Chet. He just is eternally calling him, and he even called Chet almost in the middle of the night. If Gus is up running around, he can just call somebody else up. And somebody's going to really have to straighten him out some of these times. But I'm glad we're not too close. Well, I think I'm going to sign off for now, and maybe in the morning we'll think of something else to add to this. So bye-bye. And hope we can see you before too long, but maybe it would be better if you would rather wait and come some time later in the year. It would be nice if you could be here, Marilyn, during the school year, so you could, if you see the few teachers that you really got acquainted with when you were here in the schools, and some of them surely are there still. And we, as your dad said, we do want to go over to the Southwest Bible Church, and I believe that's where the Crestons go, isn't it? And there is also a Leewood Baptist Church down here, but it's not very far south of us in the area, called Leewood. And we thought maybe we'd go down there, but we just haven't done it yet. And there's also a church up on Knoll Avenue at about 5700 or something like that. About 57th and Knoll. And the pastor of that church is the grandson of the pastor that we had in Moberly there, this Brother Owen, which you'd heard us talk about, I'm sure. And this is his grandson that's pastor of that church, and also the pastor's mother and father live here. Now, I don't know his father, but I did meet his mother several times. In fact, it's the last time I saw her, she was down with her dad, and they were living down in Cape Girardeau. We stopped there to see them and see him, and it was after Mrs. Owen had gone to the hospital, and Myra was there with her dad. So I got to meet up with her there, and she had kind of forgotten me, although said she did remember after we got to talking about it. She did remember meeting me up there. But I haven't seen her since, and I'm sure she's pretty well forgotten me again. But anyhow, I would like to meet up with her again. We thought so much of Brother Owen. When they first moved in there, he lived right back door to our back door, and we could talk across there wasn't any fence or anything there to talk across, just across the open yard. But he was so good to stop in to see Mom when she was sick. And, he wasn't there, though, at the time of her death. And I really think a lot of him. His wife died, and then he is married again and lives out here in this, I think in this John Knox Village or something out here at, I don't know where it is, out, it's not Excelsior Springs, but it's out east of town here somewhere. And these are retirement setups. Well, I am going to stop now for tonight, and maybe there'll be something more tomorrow, and we'll get it on its way. Bye-bye for tonight.